This just came in the mail. It is a Y740 Lenovo 17-inch laptop. It is the RTX 2080 variant, and I will give a further review with more specs in it later, but today we're going to do a teardown and upgrade the M.2 hard drive and add an HDD drive to this laptop. Are you ready? Let's go. This is Excelsior Tech. Alright, let's just dig right in here. The Legion comes in this really cool, nice, big blue box. I'm actually surprised at how thin it is, but I definitely know that's because the laptop inside is kind of thin too, but it's also really big. Inside they have this nice foam insert with the logo of the Legion design on there. It's kind of cool. Here's the power brick. It's really huge, but it's also kind of the typical size you would see with a Dell 240 watt, which is what it is. And here's a laptop and a nice kind of dust cover. Instruction booklets, not going to use those. This is SATA cable that came with it. My configuration didn't have the second hard drive, just the NVMe M.2. Okay, let's get a look at this laptop now. I'm going to take the dust cover off. It's hard to explain just how big this thing is. Just like a big slab of metal. It really is huge. I love the clean lines. I love the look of it. Nothing really spangly about it, which I really kind of don't like of normal gaming laptops. There we go. Keyboard uses a chiclet design, sort of. It feels good. Nice and springy. Good tactile reaction. I've noticed up on this edge here, everything on this laptop has just none of the plastic coverings on it, except for the hinge area right here. It's kind of obnoxious to get it off, but you know, it helps protect it, so it's really kind of only a minor inconvenience. But I was kind of surprised. It isn't on nothing else, not covering the screen, anywhere else in the laptop, just that hinge. And getting it off that one area right there, right in between there, is really difficult. And it's perforated in the center, so you're only going to get off half at a time. But anyways, I eventually get it all off, and that's just fine. Alright, let's take a look underneath here. Lots of ventilation, as you can see. 2 large fans. There's some ventilation on the side, as you'll see when we look at the ports. Never had a problem with this overheating. Alright, now let's look at the ports. On the left side, you have a Thunderbolt 3 Type-C port with a 3.5mm audio jack. On the right side is a single Type-A USB 3 port. And on the back, we have a mini display port, HDMI 2.0, 2 USB 3 Type-A's, and Lenovo's proprietary power port. Alright, let's open this sucker up. It's actually pretty simple and very straightforward. There are 11 screws, each in these areas right here, and they're super easy to take out. Just a regular precision bit should be fine. Alright, we got those all out now. I didn't bring any pry bars with me at this moment, so I'm just using my fingers. It really wasn't too hard. Popping off from one side, starting from the front. Around the back here, there's a few clips here. You gotta be careful and just kind of work your way slowly around. They'll pop off pretty easily. And then in no time, you've got the back off. And with the back off, let's take a look at these components. Right here is the M.2. Here's the battery. Decent size, even though it doesn't last very long with this big laptop. There's where the RAM is right there underneath that aluminum shield. It's actually pretty easy to take off. I'm not going to do that this time. 2 fans. This is your other SATA drive, and that is the subwoofer, if you want to call that subwoofer. I'm going to take off the SATA drive right now, which has a blank in it. So first you remove the subwoofer. You just have to lift it straight off. Really simple. And here you'll see a small clip. That clip you lift up. And as we lift this out of here, now you can see the blank. It's just a chunk of metal that's kind of keeping the aluminum shield there and the cage around it from collapsing, I suppose. But just unscrew that like you would unscrew a drive and put your drive in there. And then you just screw it in. And now let's install the SATA cable. As you can see right there, there's some adhesive areas where you can actually stick it down to the chassis when we install it. That's good. You don't want it flopping around, even though it's not a big problem. And also had a little crease in the center there. That's to allow you to give it a 90-degree angle. You can see me do it right there. And now on that little place I showed you earlier where the hard drive tab goes, you're going to have it flipped up and you're going to push that blue part in kind of as far as it's going to go. You'll be able to see it. Then you push the tab down, and I'm going to take the strips off right now and then adhere it to the chassis. I'm only going to do the chassis in one angle, just felt like the right way to do it. And then once that's on there, we're going to attach the larger end of the SATA cable into the hard drive. It's only going to fit one way, so don't worry about trying to figure out which way it should go. Sorry I'm in the way there, I'm kind of new to these kind of videos. I'll try to be a little more out of the way next time. And then we screw the hard drive into the chassis. Now we're going to attach the subwoofer, if that's what you want to call it, back into the thing just by pushing it down. There's really nothing screwed in for it. And now we're going to change the M.2 drive. The drive I decided to replace this drive with is an ADATA SX8200 Pro. It's SLC and NVMe. It's really an excellent drive. It's amazing how cheap these things are these days. I believe I paid about $120 for this. Now to replace the system drive that came in there, taking the thermal pad off. The system drive was a Western Digital PCSN720. It's a 512 drive, an excellent drive in its own right. I just want to do a different one. Take off the screw at the end there. It's just one screw. It kind of pops up and then you pull it out. And then you just do the reverse with the new drive. It's very, very simple. Okay, now we just push it down, screw it in, and you are done. We're going to put the heat spreader on there. This is a heat spreader, not a heat sink. Just so you understand, like memory likes to have the heat spread across it. It actually improves performance. We're also going to put the thermal pad back on there, which will be in contact with the backing of the laptop. And then we're going to put the back on. Very straightforward. I'm starting with the back, and I'm using my hands to kind of work around the edges, and you'll hear it start clipping in. And then once you get all those edges put in, the front part doesn't have any clips on it, so then you're just going to push it down and screw it all back in. And we are done. With an enclosure and an imaging software of choice, you can transfer the hard drive or you can just start fresh. I think I'm going to start fresh. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more, please subscribe. And have a great day.